Hello everybody, it is Hal again, and this one we've been asked to go over the basics of gem lineups and hero importance based on your class. So the basics of it, honestly, is fairly straightforward. Your fusion toughness is crucial going forward, especially in the next few months, especially if you're around 4 million, which is where I am, or if you're a little below, that's something you definitely need to focus on. So to get your fusion toughness, what you do is you take your normal character, you will go and get your toughness, so 68,000. You will go over to your endo hero, and it's 46,000, and you will do your exo fusion, which is 54. So you'll take 54 plus 46, we'll call it. So 54, 46, that is 110. And then we will take the character and add that on. Oh, quick calc error, that was 100 even, not 110. So it's 168,000, roughly. Give or take, I know the little numbers after it. So pretty much what that means is I'm running 160k fusion, so anyone who is above me will be able to hurt me pretty nastily, and anyone who is below me, I will hurt nastily. So fusion toughness is very important because you can crit and parry a lot more. Now, I don't really have much of an example to show you guys, but the reason for this is the fact that toughness is explanation in the game is not proper. So the basics of it is toughness is the most important skill. 100%, you can gain attack, you can gain damage other places, conjuring, etc. But with toughness, the only places you can gain them is godly rolls, gems, and I think there's one more, but I can't remember off the top of my head. So, with that said, relics, that's the other thing. So, that's actually another thing. Your relics are very important. I will go into a little bit more detail about this. So, each relic has two different strengthening abilities. It has a refine ability, which will give you different stats. And then there's a treasure ability, which will give you another stat. Usually they're fairly similar, but not all of them are. So each one obviously has its correct hero fate. So for example, the first four, so the Golden Fleece, the Hope Branch, Nightmare Contract, and Cursed Sword is universal for all heroes. So obviously you need a set of 3 total sets of those. But where it gets different per hero is the ones on the far right, where you get Pan's Pipes, you get Demonic Key, you get Rainbow Pledge, you get all of these different ones. So the main reason fusion toughness is calculated the way it is your deploy is on its own. Obviously, it follows you everywhere. So it actually has its own set of stats, which, since the deploy dies so quickly at this point, it doesn't have much use, sadly. Vipers made them a little bit more viable, but not nearly as much as it should be. So, the basics of this is to gain toughness, which is something that a lot of people have been missing. Refining your relics and leveling them up is very, very important. Usually people will say level them evenly. I personally disagree. I say level them in the strengths that you need. So I like my toughness. So I will focus on leveling the far right ones, which, if you can see at the bottom where it says level 95 to activate, it will raise your toughness every 5 levels. But it gets more expensive the higher you level them, by far. So I stopped at 90 over here just because it's too expensive. I need to gain stats elsewhere. So I'm focusing on my endo one. But for the Golden Fleece, it is crit. For the Refine, it's also crit. So this is best on your endo hero because you're going for more attack. For your Nightmare, it's MDef stats and dodge. For Refining, it is parry. So this is best used on your exo hero. For the next one, it's P-Def and Parry. Refining gives... dodge. So you want to do this more, obviously, on your Exo for dodge and parry. For the next one, it's Deadly. Now, Deadly is a weird stat. Deadly can be offensive and defensive. So either way it works. Deadly obviously has its own ratios, but you want to stack Deadly on your Exo. Because in the first video of this series, I pretty much explained your Exo Deadly actually grants a little bit of immunity and minus damage. It negates some of their max attack, which is very, very nice. Especially when we're hitting for millions and all of that, then the numbers will be reduced by like 3 to 500,000 just by stacking some Deadly. Insane. And then the next one is the same sort of thing. It gives attack and Deadly. These both give Deadly. And then the last one's your Toughness one. Now, the Toughness one is honestly, for me, the most important. If you're starting off trying to gain stats, you want to push your Toughness ASAP. Because, let's say, in wars, we go and fight a whole bunch of people who are like 5 to 6 million power. If their fusion toughness is low, we will actually parry these people. We will shred them. Which is part of the reason why the level gap is a thing that I told you guys about before. So each of these ones you want to focus on as you see fit, but like I said, I would do Endo for the first, fourth, and fifth, and Exo for the second and third, fourth and fifth kind of, but I balance those out personally. And when it comes to your toughness, I always went Exo toughness first, but Endo does actually have some usefulnesses for toughness. Refining is the biggest deal. When it comes to quick stat gains, this is why trucing up is important. If you don't know how to truce, which you guys should by now, go to Treasure Plunder, and you will go in and you will hit the truce button. You will have tokens to use. And note, this cannot plunder between 11 p.m. Eastern and 9 a.m. Eastern. This helps you drastically because you don't have to use truce tokens during this time. Just do the math and save yourself some tokens. Now, you can plunder XP stuff to level up your treasures faster. It just gets a lot more expensive over time. For the refines, you can use any of the gold ones to refine up to level 15. But then you have... I have some energy I can burn. Then you have these ones, the red ones, you can only use to refine from level 15 to 20. You can't mix or match. You want to get them to level 15 ASAP, and then get them up above that using the reds. Pretty soon we're only going to be pulling reds, so this is going to be a lot harder to do. But obviously you go through and you find your stuff. One thing I've gotten questions about a lot more recently is knights. So, knights is another thing I'll go over with you guys. So, obviously my knights aren't very beefy right now because I've been focusing on my own upgrades for my heroes themselves. It's honestly a mixed bag on which does what for you and which is the best for you. So, each one, obviously, if you see on the left, gives you your stats. So, treasuring these is very nice. Everything to do with this is based on power. So, since my Baja is my most powerful and I need Exo HP, I throw my Baja on my Knight for Exo HP. And then I'll throw in some Fates to make it a little bit more fluffy. Obviously, HP is the fluffiest stat in terms of general power. So you just toss in HP heroes where the Fates line up. You'll get the most strength from it. Now, leveling them and breaking them through, it depends on your perspective. I personally am not going too crazy because I'm fixing this tune-up. But if you have the extra resources, you have the extra Mirage Crystals, and you want to throw some extra stuff over here to give you a little bit extra stats on your hero lines, perfectly go ahead. I have a chart that I put in Discord, and I'll put in line if it's asked for, to explain how the exact numbers go through. Your protections, You want to focus on dodge and parry for Exo, like I said, toughness, P-Def, everything like that for Exo. And then, honestly, it's a mixed bag for Endo. You can go for the attack route. You could try to make it last a little longer. That's personally just up to you, but I always focus toughness. Double stars, you want to do either Keel or anything on your deploy, honestly. You want to do Keel Endo, and usually Crown Exo because that number, 90,000 HP, it's really nice. Keel gives you half of that, but it also gives you more attack. Runes, I've gone over with a lot of you. It's a lot more preference based, and I know my Exo needs fixed. I'm working on pulling a better rune for that. But, yeah, there's that. If you guys have any questions about any of this or want me to go into detail on some more, let me know. But, I'm going to end this video as that, and hope you guys are having a great day. I will catch you in the next one.